Stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned. I'm here with the Coach John Brett.
And I'm here with the vet, Mr. N, Sergeant Major Griffin.
Yes, yes.
All right.
That's my old rusty dusty ass. So, hey, we're going to talk about something that's, we got all emotional over in that little state called Georgia.
Oh, boy.
Because, they passed a voting law. And they passed this voting law, and I can't remember, what's that word called? Oh, it was Jim Crow. It was racist. It was modern day slavery. It was everything else. The POTUS said that. The vice president said it. Well, I don't know what she said. I think she did. She jumped on that bandwagon, I believe. Stacey Abrams came out and said it. That he called it not Jim Crow, Jim Eagle or some shit. I mean, it's just craziest thing in the world. And Coach, what just happened? They just had a primary election, and they had more early voters than they've ever had. They had more people turn out than they've ever had. So what did it suppress is my question.
Well, one of the things that I have realized is because of COVID, some things were temporarily changed in a lot of states.
Yeah, we did that in Texas.
But it was just for a temporary time, and then as soon as COVID's over, since, nobody's wearing masks and everybody's good anymore, then that was just temporary. It's called temporary.
Yeah.
If you have a temporary separation from your spouse, that means you're going back, right?
Yeah, it was kind of emergency procedures.
Well, sometimes a temporary separation from a spouse is an emergency situation.
Yeah.
But then the emergency's over, and we want to go back to where it was, and now it's back to, we're trying to keep African Americans back from all the gains they made from Reconstruction, and we're going to call it Jim Crow laws.
Yeah.
Come on. Stacey Abrams involved in this crap?
Oh yeah,
Of course. She needs to pay her tax bill, I'm just saying.
So I'm just throwing this out there as we witnessed a lot of violence lately, with school shootings, Tulsa shooting, all this other stuff. I don't think I witnessed anybody getting blocked from voting, beat from voting, all this other stuff, that was really what Jim Crow was people died, and things of that nature.
And since I'm white privileged, I just went to vote last week at the school board, local school board. And they asked me for a driver's license, and I really thought I was going to call, a civil rights attorney, but I gave it to them. They scanned it, and they handed me this unbelievable thing called a ballot. And I went and put it in, and I hit on the screen, and it printed out there, and I looked at it, and it said exactly what I voted for, and I put it in the machine, and unbelievably, it counted.
So my question is, if you was another race, would that have changed?
You have to have a driver's license for bank accounts, for apartments, to drive a vehicle, to go get pay for a check at a grocery. So where's this pressure?
So this is what I feel that's going on. When something that the other party does, we have to throw Jim Crow out there. We have to throw it out there.
Racist.
And then we have to believe that our people that support us directly are so dumb that they would believe that shit. No matter what the race is, they just believe that their supporters are that dumb that they buy into that shit.
Yeah, so there's cause and effect to everything. And there's also this.
Otherwise, they wouldn't say it.
So it's almost like you pull through a drive-through at McDonald's, which I don't go to McDonald's. But let's say you order a quarter pounder, fries, and a drink. And you can order it. Then you get up to the window, they actually ask you to pay for it. That's the problem. Because they ask you to pay for it like every other person in the world that had to go through the same drive-through, black, white, Hispanic, whatever. You still go through it the same way, but because you're black or Hispanic or something, they ask you to do what everybody else does. Somehow we have been talked into that's racist.
So think about this. Because they pushed it so hard, the Major League Baseball changed the All-Star game and moved it to Colorado because who had more restrictive voting laws than Georgia did.
But they took a stand, man.
But they took the stand. And what they did was they yanked the carpet out of all these small businesses. That's when Stacey Abrams originally came back. I didn't mean that. I got people over there voting for me. I didn't mean that. I did not mean that. But she hung on to that really good,
So is ID, let's just break this down. I've always wanted to know the question. Is asking for an ID that will be given to you for free if you can't afford it racist?
No.
Wait a minute. That's what we're being told.
That's what we're being told.
It's
suppression.
The same ID that you and I, as white privileged, and African Americans, Hispanic, Asian, whatever it want to be, the same ID. It's not different for any of us. Ask for it. That's racist. That's Jim Crow law.
Yeah. So for me to get on a military post, I had to flash a military ID. I have to flash
That's
an
racist.
ID. So this is my deal. We make this very short because
Yeah,
we're making fun of
please.
this.
This is
But I'm
ridiculous.
going to throw this out there. If there is a Jim Crow law out there, I want to know what it is. So we can dissect it and we can all band together and say, stop that shit.
Do you remember,
Give me the law.
Do you remember late in 2021 we said some of the things that you can guarantee is going to happen in 2022? We're going to look forward.
We said
Nostradamus.
it.
I said that the racist words and the phobic words will come back. The race card will come back out. And these things have, because it's an election year. And
Yep.
believe me, most people believe this is the most important election. I hear that every 2 years, but this will be the most important election of all time. And we already know that the House is going to flip, possibly the Senate's going to flip. So now it's even you're going to bring all the cards
I'm going
out,
to tell you,
brother.
I'm going to tell you how bad the House is going to flip.
How many you think? Give me the number.
No, I'm not going to give you a number. I'm just going to
I'm
throw
giving
this
you a number.
scenario out here. I have a grandson who's 18 months old. Everywhere he walks is a complete walking path of destruction. There's nothing that, if this was all here, it would all be on the floor. Every drawer is pulled out. Everything is pulled out. He has to touch everything, and I call him snatch and go. He snatches out, he runs down the hall, snatches the next thing. The Congress is going to be looking like my grandson walked through it. All of them are going to be tossed to the 3 sheets to wind. I'm saying that right now the Congress, that the Republicans are going to be up 40 people. Up.
Oh, you mean in the
Up.
House?
In the House.
Well, I was
They
going
will
to
be
say
up
40, so that's right.
They're going to be up 40 to 60 people. I think in the Senate they're going to be up 10. It's going to be 8 to 10.
I say 2 to 4 in the Senate would be great. In the House, I'm saying 40. But you are right. And if you look at the laundry list since Joe Biden took office, what accomplishments have been done against, people always say one time when you have a marriage or you're in a relationship, take a piece of paper and put a line down the middle of it. I'm going to do it right here. All right. And you list all the goods of your partner and your marriage and your bads. So if you were to do this right here to the Biden administration and the Congress that's been, think about it, the Congress is Democrat. I could maybe own this one good, and I would put infrastructure. Let's just put it.
I'm going to put one good on there that is not been acted on, but he said he would do it.
Yeah.
And it was the one thing that I heard come out of his mouth that I'm like, I agree with you 100%, and thank you for saying that, and it needs to happen. And as with the Uvalde shooting, he said demolish the school and rebuild another one.
Yes. Okay,
I agree with that. That is the only thing that's come out of his mouth besides he wants more freaking ice cream that has made sense.
So I'm going to put 2 on the good side, but I guarantee you if we started with the bad that has transpired or has not been done, we'd go to the second page.
I need to go get you a whole Rolodex of pages.
And we're not even, and you know how I know it's true? Social media, when Trump was president, from the left, was a daily, I can't believe he did this, said this. He's not for black people. He wouldn't have ever done this. He's not for Hispanics. He wouldn't have done this. And all they said is we want somebody to unify and bring it. We want the old school Democrat. I have not seen, and I'm not making this up, in a year and a half, I've not seen one person that's Democrat that's a friend of mine post a positive thing that Kamala Harris, the border czar, or this president that is literally, Jimmy Carter is sitting there like this going, thank you for him.
Yes, thank you.
But they're not posting anything
Not
positive.
at all.
The only thing they're still talking about is Trump, abortion,
When they do post, I'm going to throw this out there.
and guns.
When they do post, they post that far left-leaning historian, Heather Richardson, in her party politics that she writes about how bad Trump is in every article. She can't even write a letter to a relative without saying Trump's
Dude,
bad.
I'm going to tell you just a few weeks ago.
That's what they quote.
We had the Buffalo shooting going on, and they were talking about this, and then the next day I'm here, they're talking about January 6th again.
Yeah,
I'm
like that.
Can you talk about Joe Biden?
Yeah, the guy who's in charge. So anyway, moving along. Tell me one Jim Crow law we have in America. I want to know it so I can go fight about it and get it overturned. I want to know what it is.
And if your Jim Crow has anything to do with somebody having to show an ID and you post down there, I'm going to call you an idiot.
Yep. So from the coach
to the vet,
it's time to get the flock out of here. Stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned.